Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurani Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Hare Krishna. Welcome once again. So today we are doing chapter number 10 from the most sacred Bhagavad Gita. It is entitled as the opulence of the absolute. Previous chapter Krishna talked about most confidential knowledge, and this chapter begins with Krishna telling Arjuna that now I'm going to give you knowledge that is better than what I have already explained. So there are different ways of acquiring knowledge. One is with the help of our senses. We try to perceive, which is called direct sense perception. We believe whatever we see and hear. But the defect with this method is that we have imperfect senses. We are born with 4 defects. Imperfect senses, we have the tendency to fall under illusion. We have the tendency to commit mistakes. And we also have the tendency to cheat. 4 defects. So this direct sense perception method is not very reliable. Another way to acquire knowledge is guesswork. It is called Anuman Pramana, where we keep guessing. And this method is even more unreliable because in the first method, we are actually able to see something, perceive something with our senses. There is some probability, very negligible though. But in this, we are just guessing. So this is also not reliable. Third method is Shabda Praman, or hearing from the right authority. So we have to hear from the right authority to gain right knowledge. And this is the best method. Suppose we want to know something about a person, then the best thing is when he speaks about himself. That would be the most reliable thing. So Krishna is talking about himself. He is the creator, and everything else, including all of us, are created. He is the source of all that is created. So it is not possible for the created to know everything about the creator unless that creator starts explaining himself. Just like it is not possible for a child born to know everything about his mother and father unless they explain. He need to use that method of Shabda Praman. Hear from them. When was he born? How was he born? All those things. It's not possible for him to know. Similarly, with the help of our senses, our mind, guessing, it's not possible to know Krishna fully or his entire creation. So the best is when he starts speaking and he has spoken. He has given the information in the form of scriptures, which are called Shabda Brahma or Shabda Pramana. Just like in any field, we want to learn something. So we approach a bona fide teacher who teaches us from the authorized books. Similarly, when you want to learn about God, there are bona fide teachers who are authorized representatives of Krishna, and there are books which are the scriptures. So Krishna is revealing the essence about him, and so there is no fault in his knowledge because he is perfect. We are born with four defects, he is free from four defects. He is great, we are small. And he's explaining the most phenomenal knowledge about himself in this. And again, in the very first verse itself, he explains the qualification to understand this knowledge. He says, because you are my very dear friend, for your benefit, I shall speak to you this knowledge, which is far better than what I have spoken till now. Other places also, Krishna has explained again and again, Bhaktya mama bhijanati. Oh Arjuna, you can understand because you are my devotee and you are my friend. Oh Arjuna, you will be able to understand. I'm explaining because you are my devotee and you are my friend. So the process to understand the Bhagavad Gita, because it's a revelation, it cannot be understood simply by knowing the language. It has to be revealed by Krishna. Yasya deve para bhaktir yatha deve tatha gurau tasyaite katita hi artha prakashante mahatmana. So people try to understand scriptures on their own, or from some any Tom, Dick, and Harry. Anybody is writing books on scriptures nowadays without having qualification. But unto only those great souls that this verse explains, Yatsa deve para bhaktir yatha deve tatha gurau tasyaite katitahi artha prakashante mahatmana. Only unto those great souls the imports of the scriptures will be revealed, who have implicit faith in Guru and Krishna. Why would Krishna reveal the confidential knowledge to somebody who doesn't even believe in his existence, doesn't even have faith in his existence, or who says he's formless, or he says he's full of faults? People find faults with God. Why would Krishna reveal himself to such people? We don't reveal our confidential secrets to just about anybody. Only somebody who has won our trust, who is very close to us. And since devotees are very close to Krishna, so he reveals true knowledge about him to those devotees. And what is this knowledge? In the first 7 verses, Krishna explains how he is the source of everything that exists. Now, how is this the most confidential knowledge? It sounds so simple. Please try to understand. For millenniums, for a long time, scientists have been trying to figure out who is the source of creation. And since they're not able to find out, they have been coming up with theories like Big Bang theory, chance theory, all these things. So it is confidential. So Krishna is explaining in the first 7 verses how he is the source of everything, which people have been trying to find out. And here he is declaring, Baba, I am the source. These are not boastful words, because you can see, you can go through other scriptures and see if anybody else has made such a claim. Nobody. Like Srila Prabhupada used to say, we have all the evidence. All the great souls have accepted Krishna as the Supreme Lord. These scriptures, Brahma, Shiva, everyone accepts him as the Supreme Lord. The scriptures say so, and he himself is accepting. Nobody else has made such a claim. Nobody has ever said, no other personality, that they are God. So if you have your candidate, bring him. Till then, our Krishna remains God forever. So ultimately, you come to the same conclusion. And but it is very difficult to understand. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye yatamapi siddhanam kaschin mam veti tattvata. Very, very few people out of thousands and thousands of people, hardly one endeavors. And out of those who achieve perfection in their endeavor, hardly one knows him in truth, Krishna says. In the last chapter, he has explained this. Very difficult. Unless he reveals himself, we cannot understand. He is revealing now. And those people who get the opportunity and then they have that faith, they are able to understand. They are very, very fortunate. The fortunate people are blessed with that faith. See, you will find, looking around, there are so many people, for them, sometimes it's very easy to put faith. For some, it's very difficult. Some keep doubting, some keep rebelling, some people become angry when you talk about Krishna, God, Bhakti. And but for some people, it's so easy to put faith. How is this happening? Because faith is something which is bestowed upon the fortunate souls. It cannot be purchased. Either the faith is because of our past lives devotional service, or it can be bestowed by a devotee upon us who has that faith. There are only two conditions. So people who are blessed are bestowed upon this faith. So when we hear what Krishna is trying to explain in these 40 odd verses, it may sound very simple, but carefully analyze, the greatest brains, greatest minds, so-called greatest people have been trying to find answers to these questions. They have not been able to, and ultimately they have given some bogus theories. So in the first 7 verses, he explains how he is the source of everything. In the next 4 verses, 8 to 11, he explains how he explains Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita. So if you want to understand what Gita actually is all about, these are the 4 verses. It's called Chatushloki Gita in 4 verses, 8 to 11. And then 12 to 42, Krishna explains how he is present everywhere through his energies, and how he's pervading, maintaining everything. Explains how he is uh, the essence of everything glorious that exists in this world. So we'll talk about that later. So first of all, Krishna starts explaining how he's the source of everything. He says, neither the demigods nor the great sages know his origin and opulences, for in every respect he is the source of demigods and sages. As I said, it is impossible to understand the creator for the created. Not even the powerful demigods can understand him, not even the powerful sages can understand him. How can we understand? Tiny, ordinary human beings compared to the sages and the devatas, we are very tiny. The devatas don't even look at us. When they want to curse somebody, they say, Manushya kahin ka, ja Manushya ban ja. They curse people like that. Anybody who commits a mistake in the Devalokas, Swargas, celestial world, they curse them like that, become a human being. So if they cannot understand Krishna, how can we understand? How can we write about somebody whom we don't even understand? So when you see some contradictions in the scriptures, contradictions in the activities of God, we should understand it is beyond my perception. We should not try to impose our conscience. Oh, why did he do this? Why did he do that? Hey, Baba, it's not very easy to understand his activities. It's not very easy to understand him. So when you see some apparent contradictions, we should realize, oh, I'm so unintelligent that I'm not able to understand. God is great. So let me approach the right person who can explain, rather than just imposing. Human beings have this tendency to impose their consciousness on God. That has to be avoided at all costs, because we accumulate a lot of karma if we find faults with God. Everything, just like by glorifying God, glorifying Krishna, we will be blessed with the merciful glance of Goddess of Fortune, Mother Lakshmi. Similarly, by blaspheming him, by finding faults with Krishna or any of his incarnations, Ram, Nrsimha, Lakshmi Devi will take away her mercy from us. She's not just Dhan Lakshmi, she's the Bhagya Lakshmi, and she's also Mahalakshmi. History is the proof. One sage, Bhrigu Rishi, was appointed to find out who is the supreme among Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. So he committed offenses deliberately, and Brahma and Shiva got angry. When he went to Lord Vishnu, he just kicked him straight in the chest. Lord Vishnu got up, he begged forgiveness that his chest was so hard, he must have got hurt. Bhrigu Rishi cried, he understood he is the greatest personality. But Lakshmi Devi did not take it easily. She took it very seriously. And since then it is explained in Srimad Bhagavad that the Brahmanas have remained poor. She took away her mercy from them because uh, how dared they hit the Lord in the chest? How did they do that? So it's very, very dangerous to be uh, angry at the very mention of the word God, Bhakti, or find faults with God. Lakshmi Devi will take her mercy away. So therefore, we have to be careful. When we don't understand certain things about God, we should try to approach the right people, understanding that, oh, I am not able to understand. So that's my inability, my ignorance. And we should become humble rather than becoming uh, arrogant and find faults. Now Krishna is explaining how is the origin of everything. He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the supreme Lord of all the worlds, he only undiluted among men, is freed from all sin. Simply by understanding Krishna as a source of everything, simply by understanding the truth about him, one becomes liberated. Liberation is not about after death. Liberation even while living. Liberation from bondage, frustration, and suffering, and sinful reactions. Simply you understand the Lord, that He's not created, He's the creator, He's unborn. Unborn as the sin, we take birth. When we accept material body, that is considered as birth. Even the souls are considered unborn. When the soul accepts a body, it's called birth. Any body out of 8.4 million types of bodies. Since the Lord never accepts a material body, He descends to this world in His same spiritual body, so He's always unborn. And He's the beginningless. Sometimes people ask, if God made everyone, who made God? They think it's a very tricky question, but it's the most stupid question. You're contradicting your own statement. If God made everything, and you say then who made God, then that means you cannot use the word God here, because if somebody created God, then somebody becomes God. God by definition means one who is the creator of everything. By definition, one who creates everything is God. It ends there. And then further Krishna says how even the qualities in this world, all the qualities like intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt and delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of the senses, control of the mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame and infamy. Said all these qualities are also created by me. You can read second chapter, second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. All these details are given how he creates this creation and how he creates these emotions as well. And then he explains the seven sages, the Sapta Rishis, you see that constellation. And before them, the four other great sages. And four other great sages are Sanak, Sanatan, Sanandan, and Sanat Kumar, the four sons of Brahma. Very powerful personalities. And the Manus, the progenitors of mankind. From Manus comes the word Manushya. So the father of mankind. Said they all come from me, born from my mind. That's why the name Manu. And then later on, all the living entities populating the various planets in the universe descend from them, or in millions of universes, everything comes from the Lord. He's explaining. So it's not, if we try to find out this, no, I don't believe in all these. I'll personally try to find out. Go ahead. The Vedas explain, you will come to the same conclusion, but it may take you trillions of lifetimes on your own if you try to find out, and you will never come to the right conclusion, because Krishna, his opulence is unlimited. It's not easy to understand by our own effort. Best is understand who is speaking this, the supreme authority. So best is accept it. उसमें ही हमारा भला है. And to the degree we cooperate with the will of the Lord, to that very degree we are blessed. And anybody who understands this about Krishna, naturally, because we want to serve the greatest people, by nature we are servant. We find pleasure only when we are serving rather than wanting to be served. Because the nature of the soul is to love and to serve. And ultimately, when we serve others, we become happy. When we serve the ultimate, the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, we become ultimately happy. So naturally, when we understand why do we want to serve a person, why do we want to connect with him? Because When we hear about somebody's beauty, knowledge, strength, renunciation, power, wealth, opulences, we become attracted and we want to serve that person automatically. So when you hear about Krishna's opulences like this, Krishna says, when somebody understands my opulences, my mercy, my compassion, my beauty, then naturally he engages in my devotional service. There's no doubt. Naturally, then he wants to serve me. Once we know about a greatness of a person, naturally we want to serve that person. We want to establish a relationship. But one who does not understand, he will never make an attempt to establish that relationship. Now, text number 8 to 11, he has explained how is the source of everything. Now he's explaining how, or the essence of the Bhagavad Gita, Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita it is called. Somebody asks you, what is the essence? You can quote these 4 verses. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitah Macchitta madgata prana bodhayantah parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha tesham satatayuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayanti te teshamevanukampartham aham ajnanajam tamah नाशयामि आत्मभावस्थो ज्ञानदीपेन भास्वता. So text 8, he's explaining, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Everything that you see, it is either made up of matter or spirit, and spirit gives life to matter, like our body. Body is matter, and we, the souls, are spiritual. So everything is made up of these 2 things only in this creation. So, and then there is a material world also, full material world where we are living, consisting of countless universes. Then there is a spiritual world which consists of 3 times the material universes. Out of the total creation of the Lord, 1/4 is the material creation, 3/4 is a spiritual creation. It's full of variety. Whatever you see here is existing up there in the spiritual world in its original form. There are people, there are families, there are palaces, there are communities, activities, everything is there. Sometimes people think, what will I do going to spiritual world? So whatever you have here, you can have your family over there eternally. There will be no separation. There's no old age, there's no disease, no death. We have to go somewhere after we leave this world. Why not go to that place then? There's no misery and you can still live your life to the fullest. You can live happily ever after. And this is called intelligence. We have to die one day, go somewhere. Why not prepare to go to that place and engage in those activities? Krishna has explained earlier. Those who worship the devatas, they go to them. Those who worship the ancestors, they go to them. Those who worship the hosts, they take birth among them. Those who worship me, they come to me. Simple. So he says, next verse, after explaining how he is the source of everything, people have been trying to scratch their brains and trying to figure out who is the source. Here is Krishna explaining, I am the source. Go through any other book, any other scripture. Nobody else is making this claim. Because they are not. Krishna is. This is first thing. First verse among the verses which are known as Chatushloki. Next he says, the thoughts of my pure devotees. Now he explains Bhakti. Because Bhakti is the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. I've already explained there are 3 sections Bhagavad Gita. Krishna talks about karma, yoga, dhyana yoga, jnana yoga in few verses. But for bhakti yoga, which is so close to his heart, by which he can be conquered, he's given 6 full chapters, 7 to 12. And even those chapters in which he's talking about jnana and dhyana or karma, every chapter he ends with emphasis on bhakti yoga. So now he's explaining the essence. He says, the thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service. And they derive great satisfaction and bliss I'm always enlightening one another and conversing about me, talking about his pure devotees. What are the symptoms of pure devotees who are so dear to him and Krishna is conquered by them? Their thoughts always dwell in me, they're always thinking about him. Their lives are fully devoted to me. And they, whenever they talk, also they talk themselves, talk with each other about me, discuss about me, enlighten one another about me. This is a pure devotee. As I many times explained, anybody can say, we are also saying, oh, I'm a devotee, I'm a devotee. But what do we do when we come together? What do we talk about? What is the subject matter for discussion? That will decide whether we are devotees or non-devotees. Do we talk about non-devotional stuff, mundane stuff? Or do we talk about Krishna? Or what did we hear in the Gita class? Or how are you spending your days? Which spiritual practice you're doing? Or discussing some philosophical truths from the scriptures? Or are we gossiping? Are we talking about some conspiracies, scandals? Are we backbiting? We are what we eat. We are the association that we keep. Very simple. So anybody can make a show of being a devotee, but what do you do when you are alone in a room? What do you do when you come together? That decides. And then Krishna says, such people, how does he help them? How does he shower his grace? He says, to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Only such people are given the understanding who are devoted to him, his devotees. They are given the understanding uh, to so that they can approach him. As I said, nobody can enter Krishna's realm. Nobody can barge in without having the necessary qualification. This is a path on which Krishna chooses who will walk. And when he sees we are engaged in devotional service, he is pleased with our seva. He is pleased with our devotional service, beginning with hearing and chanting, and we are sincere. And he enlightens us. He illuminates that path which leads to him. Otherwise, it is covered by his Yoga Maya Shakti, Maya Javanika Chandam. Nobody can know him, nobody can approach him. But when he sees there are some sincere people, he enlightens us. He enlightens them, he illuminates the path leading to his lotus feet, leading to him personally. That's why I always say the path of Jnana, Dharma, and Karma we can choose. But the path of Bhakti, who will walk? Which is the highest, which is so personal to Krishna, the path of supreme grace. Krishna decides who will walk this path. And hence, anybody who has come to this path is very, very special and personally chosen by Krishna. You're not sitting here because, oh, there is some Gita class happening, so we are going. No. It is because you were meant to be here. Otherwise, the messages go to many, many people. Not everybody is joining. Only those who are meant to. Krishna is choosing. We are not choosing. So then how does Krishna help such people? I give them the understanding by which they can come to me. And further, text number 11, to show them special mercy dwelling in their hearts. Destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. The greatest enemy of a person is ignorance. And the greatest friend is knowledge. Ignorance is compared to darkness. When there is darkness, suppose you enter a room which is pitch dark, you cannot see the furniture, you cannot see the people sitting inside, you cannot see the food lying on the dining table, and it also gives fear. But when somebody lights up the room, you can see people, you can see things, you can see the food, everything, all the details of the room, and there is no more fear. Similarly, fear is because of ignorance. We implicate ourselves or have been implicating in our laws of karma. We have been transmigrating from one species to the other because of ignorance, because we don't know who we are. Therefore, we think this is the best thing for me, that is the best thing for me. And we've been transmigrating because depending on the activities we perform, the thoughts we cultivate, our future is decided, our next body is decided, our next destination is decided. And out of 8.4 million species, any body can be given to us depending on our consciousness that we develop. If we develop divine consciousness by engaging in Krishna's devotional service, then we go to him. Otherwise, there's every chance, especially in Kali Yuga, that people will be degraded to lower species of life, depending on the kind of consciousness they are cultivating. Why am I saying that? Mahabharata explains, Har nidra bhayamaitunam cha samanyametat pashubhir naranam dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho dharme nahi pashubhir saman. Four activities are common between animals and human beings: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Common. Then what makes us better than them? Dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishay, the special ability to do what we are doing. Nobody comes to understand scriptures from the animal species. Nobody expresses a desire to understand God. This is the prerogative of the human beings. Only human beings are allowed to do that. They can only do it. Therefore, why did I say that there is every possibility in Kali Yuga most of the people will get degraded to lower species of life in the next life? Because they are only worried about eating, sleeping, mating, defending. That's it. Eat, drink, and be merry. There is no higher goal. And the bodies are given after we die according to the consciousness. If the consciousness on how I can eat better, sleep, enjoy, and defend, that's animalistic. Material nature thinks, oh, if this is your goal, then in human body there are limitations. And when you do these activities, you are held responsible as a human being, whatever you do. So let us give you a suitable body in which you can fulfill these needs of yours to the fullest without getting implicated in the laws of karma. Because other species of life, they don't have the ability to make choices. So therefore, they're not held responsible for whatever they like. A lion kills a deer, he's not held responsible. A dog breaks the signal, he's not held responsible. It's not expected from them. So if that is our goal, then material nature will give us a suitable body where we'll not be held responsible. We can enjoy these four propensities to the fullest. So we have to be very careful. Okay, you're allowed to enjoy good food, enjoy, earn money, but without neglecting this aspect of your life. We are spiritual by nature. Also cultivate God consciousness, cultivate Krishna consciousness. A, B, C, D, associate with devotees regularly like we are doing, and hear Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam in that association. B is books, regularly read scriptures, even if it's like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour every day, even if you don't understand, just read. It's like food for the soul. C is chant his names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And these diet, whatever you eat, before you eat, offer it to the Lord first, then you eat it. Don't eat forbidden things. Don't offer him forbidden things. Because just to satisfy our tongue, we eat forbidden things. And then we implicate ourselves in the karmic cycle. And then we complain, why am I suffering? Why am I facing so many impediments in life? If you're sinful, you will face this. Mend your ways, mend your behavior. Automatically, you will feel peaceful. Whatever we go through is the result of all our choices, our own activities. Why do we blame others for it? Others just become the instruments. So Krishna says for his own devotees, because he's present in everyone's heart as Paramatma, he from within reveals the knowledge. And therefore you'll find this is such a dynamic path. Just be on the path. When you're studying scriptures, when you're hearing, some of the answers to your questions, queries will be revealed in those lectures from the scriptures as you're studying. Some answers, some facts you will see will be revealed to you from within the heart. Where does this understanding come from? That's Paramatma. That's Krishna's Paramatma lighting up your heart with the torchlight of knowledge. So Krishna from within helps as Paramatma by revealing the knowledge and instilling faith in our hearts and or in his devotional service. And without, he helps as a guru. So both externally and internally, it is only by Krishna's help we are able to approach him. When we develop a desire to understand him, to walk on this path, he sends a guru into our life, depending on how sincere we are. If we are very sincere, then he will send his own representative. But if you are not sincere, then a Kali, a guru who is the representative of Kali will come, not Krishna's representative. Kali Yuga is a personality, the worst of the yugas. He will enter. But therefore, if you are sincere, Krishna's true representative will enter our life. So without, he is helping as a guru. Within also is helping as a guru, Chaitya Guru. From within is inspiring faith. From without, he is inspiring by engaging us in devotional service by his own example. Therefore, Guru teaches by his own example. This is how you should do things. So Krishna helps. Without his help, he cannot walk. So he's there throughout. And even for the materialistic people, we cannot do, they cannot do anything without his sanction, without his help. However, the difference is in the case of devotees that the control of Krishna is direct, help is direct, and in the case of non-devotees, the control or the help is indirect through Maya. So these are the 4 verses which are known as Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita. Now text number 12 to 42, he simply explains how he is the essence of everything. Anything glorious, anything you see in this world, the essence of that is because of Krishna. That's what Krishna is explaining. Text number 12 and 13, Arjuna asked Krishna, and 14, that you have explained about your opulence in short. I want to hear in detail because I never get tired of hearing about his opulences, your opulences. Now, Arjuna is asking, speak in detail, because he was thinking Krishna might think, oh, he'll get bored or he'll get tired, because Krishna's opulence is unlimited. Like Parikshit Maharaj, who would tell Shukdev Goswami, don't tell the pastimes of the Supreme Lord in brief. I want to hear in detail, and don't think I'm feeling hungry or thirsty or tired. I'm absolutely fresh. To indicate that he should not think, oh, thak jayega bechara. Kai bar hota hai, the speakers have to cut short their speech because he sees the people are getting tired, they might get bored. But those who get bored hearing Krishna's message, name, qualities, pastimes, they are in a diseased state of mind. They should get cured. And the cure is only keep hearing again and again. The difference between material and spiritual is material subject matter you hear, you study, appears very exciting in the beginning, but as you do it again and again, it becomes very boring and tasteless. And spiritual things, initially they might be boring, dry, but as you keep doing them, gradually they become more and more relishable and very tasteful. So we just have to continue, even if it sounds dry in the beginning. Let our natural taste come back. Like for a person who is afflicted with jaundice, sugar tastes bitter. That's not the fault of the sugar, fault of the person, he's diseased. So people who find Krishna's name, fame, qualities, pastimes, message, scriptures as tasteless, dry, that means they are very, very in a very diseased state of mind. They are diseased. They are suffering from something called bhavarog. Their hearts are impure. To the degree our hearts become purified, to that very degree we become attracted and relish these things. And the solution is keep hearing, even if you don't like, even if you don't find it relishable. Just like cure for jaundice is sugar candy only, even though it tastes bitter. And gradually the natural taste will come back. So he's telling him, explain in detail. Don't be telling me in brief. I never get tired. Tell me in detail of your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. Krishna has spoken, he is the source of material and spiritual worlds. But now he wants to understand how he pervades this entire creation. How is he present? And then he says how he can remember him constantly and how he can know him. In what various forms are you to be remembered, O Supreme Personality of Godhead? There are countless rules and regulations in these scriptures. And the goal of all those rules is to bring us to a point where we can always remember him. We also see that we want to remember him all the time, and that is the goal. That's why scriptures say there are 2 rules which are the kings of all other rules. What are these? Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. And if you're following these 2 rules, then you are automatically following all the other rules, all the rituals, charity, pilgrimage, and all kinds of austerities, tapasya. It is understood you have performed if you are able to remember him. And that is the message of the Gita as well. Not to leave anything, but while you are working in this world, doing whatever you are supposed to do, remember him. Don't reject, but connect from wherever you are. So this chapter is very, very interesting. It will teach us how we can remember the Lord all the time. It's a very sweet chapter. And now Krishna is going to explain how he can be remembered. He says, Arjuna, all right, I'll tell you about my opulences, my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent ones, because my opulence is limitless, unlimited. Now he starts explaining. I'll just go through it and then maybe try to understand, explain. You can go through the purports Bhagavad Gita as it is by Srila Prabhupada. It's very nicely explained. Some of these are self-explanatory. Now he's going to explain everything. He says, I am the super soul, O Arjuna, seated in the hearts of all living entities. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. Of the Adityas, I am Vishnu. There are many, many personalities, the Devatas. Among the Devatas, the supreme is Lord Vamanadev. Now, Lord Vamanadev is Lord Vishnu's incarnation, Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna directly. Now, when he appeared as Vamanadev, he appeared to the mother of the Devatas, mother of Indra and other Devatas, Aditi. So, in that way, he also accepted the position of a Devata. So, when you talk about Devatas, Krishna says, I am Vishnu, I am that Vamana of the Adityas. Of the lights, I am the radiant sun. Of the Maruts, I am Marichi, and among the stars, I am the moon. It does not mean that Krishna is physically all these things. What he's trying to explain in this and the next series of verses, is that he's the essence of all this, and all the opulence, all their power is because of his presence, his mercy, and they are only reflecting his power. The essence of everything is him, he says. The essence of everything is because of him. The light of the sun is because of Krishna. The light of the moon is because of him. Of the Vedas, I am the Sama Veda, and he is the best among all. Among the Vedas, Sama Veda is the best. He says, I am the Sama Veda. So understand that whatever is best, whatever is glorious, whatever is splendorous, whatever, and the essence of everything is me. The best of everything is me. It is because of me. Of all the Rudras, I am Lord Shiva. Of the demigods, I am Indra, the king of heaven. Earlier he said, of the Adityas, I am Vishnu. That means the sons of Diti. Now he's specifically talking about demigods, not two terms. So when you talk about Aditi has many sons, and Lord Vishnu, Vaman also appeared. So when you talk about the sons of Aditi, I am the best, Adityas, Lord Vishnu. When you talk about specifically demigods, I am Indra, I am the greatest. I mean, I cannot be anybody else other than Indra. Again, I'm explaining, it does not mean that Krishna is Indra. Indra is also Krishna. He's saying, if you talk about, like sometimes we give that analogy, if you talk about the businessman, you can say, I am Mr. Tata. That does not mean that I am Tata. I'm just explaining the greatness. So similarly, says, if somebody is talking about Devatas, the supreme is Indra. So understand that's me. And it is true that only Krishna chooses who will become Indra. So the essence of everything is Krishna, whatever you see in this world. And their power, their opulence, their glory is only because of him. That's what he's explaining. And his glory, his power is manifesting through these personalities. Of the senses, I'm the mind, because mind is the strongest. And in living beings, I'm the living force. That means the soul, consciousness, the living force. Of all the Rudras, I am Lord Shiva. Of the Yakshas and Rakshasas, I am the Lord of wealth, Kubera. Kubera is the king. And everything that is existing, the best that is there, the essence is Krishna. Of the Vasus, I am fire, and of the mountains, I am Meru. Now, why is he explaining all this in this way? Two reasons. So that we can remember him, because these are all personalities of the material world. So when you see them, remember them, you can immediately, oh, their power is because of Krishna. Krishna said, Indra is sitting on this position because of Krishna. Among the Rudras, Lord Shiva is the greatest. Oh, Krishna is saying, I am that. That's also because of him. That way we can remember him. As I said, these are the ultimate rules of the scriptures, to always remember him and never forget him. And then we get the benefit of following all the other rules and scriptures. And all the blessings also that can be bestowed upon us by performing all kinds of charities, scriptural study, tapasya, pilgrimage, everything. So he's saying, of the Vasus, I am fire, and of mountains, I am Meru. This is how we can always remember him when we look at these. Of the priests, O Arjuna, know me to be the chief Brihaspati, because Brihaspati is the the chief of the or the guru of the devatas, of the generals, devatas ka chief one. These are the supreme. In this category, supreme is Kartikeya. So understand, I am that Kartikeya. Second reason why he's explaining, why is he using these examples? See, Krishna is totally spiritual. His opulence is unlimited times more than Shiva or Kartikeya or Brihaspati. But just like a mother is trying to explain to the child, oh, that's the moon, child is not able to understand. Then she has to take a reference of something that the child can understand. She says, okay, can you look at the tree? The child understands the trees. Then she says, look beyond that tree straight. That's the shining thing is the moon. Then the child understands. Just to make us understand Krishna's supreme power, opulence, he's taking examples of some of the most powerful things of this world and trying to explain to us that how powerful he is. Because for us, it's very difficult to understand his power, but we understand these personalities, so he's using them. We understand the power of things existing in this world, which we can relate to. So he's using those examples to explain his position. Although his position is million times, unlimited times greater than them, but just to make us understand. Of the great sages, I am Bhrigu. Of the vibrations, I am the transcendental Om. Of sacrifices, I am the chanting of the holy names. All kinds of yajna sacrifices, chanting of the holy names is the best. And of immovable things, I am the Himalayas. Great, powerful. Of all trees, I am the banyan tree, the worshipful. And of the sages among the demigods, I am Narada, the best, Devarishi. Of the Gandharvas, I am the Chitrarath, the king of the Gandharvas. Among perfected beings, I am the sage Kapila. Of horses, know me to be Ucheshrava, who was produced from the churning of the milk ocean, produced during the churning of the ocean of nectar. Of lordly elephants, I am Airavat. Airavat is the elephant of Indra, the greatest. And among men, I am the monarch, that means the king. King is the supreme. Of weapons, I am the thunderbolt, Indra's weapon, topmost. Among cows, I am the Kamadhenu, Surabhi. Surabhi cow is the best. She's the mother of the cows. Of causes for procreation, I am Kandharpa, the god of love. And of serpents, I am Vasuki. Vasuki is the king of serpents. Anantas Chasmi Naganam. Among the Nagas, I am Anantashesh. Anantashesh is the greatest. Among the aquatics, who is the greatest? Lord Varunadev, the presiding deity. Among departed ancestors, I am Aryama, who is the lord of the ancestral planet. Among the dispensers of law, I am Yama, lord of death, Yamaraj. Among the Daitya demons, who is the best among Daityas? Prahlad. I am Prahlad. Among subduers, who subdues everyone? Kal, time factor, humbles everyone. He says, I am that. Among the beasts, who is the king? The lion. I am the lion. Among the birds, I am Garuda. Of purifiers, I am the mind. I am the wind. Of the wielders of weapons, I am Rama. Of fishes, I am the shark, the most dangerous. And of flowing rivers, I am the Ganges. Of all creations, I am the beginning and the end and also the middle of Arjuna. Of all sciences, I am the spiritual science of the self. There are different varieties of science, but the greatest is that teaches us about our true self. I am the soul's part and parcel of God and servant, and how I must connect. That's the supreme science. Science means to know things as they are, and that science which teaches things as they are. Who am I? Who is God? What is this creation? What is our relationship with God? That's the highest science. Krishna says, I am that spiritual science. And among the logicians, I am the conclusive truth. There are many people trying to figure things out with logic, but what shuts them up? The truth. He says, I am the truth, which shuts every logic up. Of the letters, I am the letter A, is the beginning. And among compound words, I am the dual compound. It's talking about the holy names. I'm also inexhaustible time. And of the creators, I am Brahma, please understand. I'm all devouring death, and I'm the generating principle for all that is yet to be. Among women, which are the greatest qualities that every woman must possess and which make them beautiful and glorious? Among women, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. That means anything that is found good in anyone, understand that's the reflection of my glory. All these, I am the origin. Of the hymns in the Samaveda, I am the Brihat Sam, and of poetry, I am the Gayatri. Of the months, I am Margashisha, November, December. And of seasons, I am the, which is the most beautiful season, spring, in the flower bearing spring. I am also the gambling of cheats, and of the splendid, I am the splendor. I am victory, I am adventure, and I am the strength of the strong. Of the descendants of Vrishni, I am Vasudeva. Vrishni dynasty, who was the best? Vasudeva, Krishna. He appeared. He says, I am Vasudeva. And of the Pandavas, I am Arjuna. He's telling Arjuna, among the Pandavas, who is the best? Arjuna. Of the sages, I am Vyasa, the compiler of the scriptures. And among thinkers, I am Ushna. That's Shukracharya, the guru of the demons. Among all means of expressing lawlessness, I am punishment. What expresses lawlessness? Criminals, punishment. And of those who seek victory, I am morality. Of secret things, I am silence. Silence is the most secret thing. Your person always keeps quiet. You're always intrigued about what he's thinking. And of the wise, I am the wisdom. Furthermore, Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existences. There's no being moving or non-moving that can exist without me. He's saying that whatever you see in this world, either it's mobile or immobile, but nothing can exist without me. Through his energies, Krishna is maintaining, sustaining, creating, and destroying everything in this world. And everything glorious you see. So this way we can see. When you look at the sun, you can easily understand. When you look at the sunlight, oh, this is the reflection of Krishna's energy. The moon is shining because of him. When you talk about the great thinkers, oh, Shukracharya, his story you hear. You talk about the gurus, okay, Brihaspati, oh, Krishna's power manifesting through Brihaspati, Krishna's manifesting through Indra. So if Indra is so great, it is just a tiny fraction of Krishna's power. How great must be Krishna? So all this must be utilized to remember Krishna. That's what it is meant for. To see everything in relation to Krishna, including this entire creation and all the rulers of this creation, is Krishna consciousness, is God consciousness, is remembering Krishna all the time. And it becomes easy when we go through this chapter and try to analyze. Or you see, in essence, somebody is very beautiful or wealthy, powerful. Understand it is Krishna's reflection. So use everything in this world to remember. When you see something glorious, oh, it is because of Krishna's reflection. Krishna's opulence is manifesting through this person. Use everything to remember him. Because please understand, nothing mobile or immobile can exist. He's addressing this also. He's bringing it down to the very basic level. Okay, you cannot understand opulence. If somebody is beautiful, if you can't think, oh, this beauty is because of Krishna. Understand this. Everything that is mobile or immobile is because of me. So everything you look around, moving people, so they're moving. I am also moving because of Krishna's grace. We cannot even breathe without his will. So there's no way we cannot not remember him at every moment if we are having that desire. He says, O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. Yad yad vibhuti mat sattam shrimat urjitam eva va tattat evava gachattam mama tejo amsa sambhavam. He says that know that all opulent, now he's summarizing whatever he has spoken. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. Anything from this day onward you see, anything glorious, anything splendorous, anything beautiful, anything charming, understand it is coming from Krishna. They spring from Krishna's splendor, a spark of his splendor. That way try to remember him. And that is the message of the Gita. Not to give up what you're doing, but to remember him while you're doing what you're doing. That is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. And he ends this verse by chapter by saying, Atha va bahunaitena kim gyatena tavarjuna vishtabhyaham midam krishnam ekam shena sito jagat. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. He's summarizing, he said, there's no need to explain all this. With a single fragment of mind, I'm sustaining this entire universe. And there are countless universes, it's sustaining all of them. So, so when somebody, why it is important to hear about this also, and not just about Krishna, the Makhan Chori Leela, Janam Leela, because not everybody can relish Janam Leela and everything. It is this kind of discussion is important to strengthen our intelligence and strengthen our faith. We may have faith and we like to hear stories, but then we also be logically strong so that we can defend our faith against the non-believers when there's an argument. And that generally happens when we sit among our friends. People start speaking their devil mind out based on whatever little they understand, intelligence mind. And we should be able to protect our faith. And this will also help us see him as we are working in this world, because 24/7 we're not sitting and chanting and remembering. We have to work also, we have obligations. So while doing that, how we can remember him? These are the ways shown by Krishna. He's so kind. Don't give up. It's not a life of rejection, it's a life of connection. And therefore, the acronym for this chapter is He, because in this, Krishna is teaching all of us how we can see him everywhere all the time in his creation. Before we see him directly, we learn to see him in his creation, and then we can see him. The presence of the seen the presence of the unseen can be felt by experiencing the seen. So we not see him directly now, but we can qualify himself by learning to see him everywhere. His mercy, his glory, how it is present everywhere, how everything is because of his. And that way, thinking that way, remembering him all the time, our heart gets purified. And the more our heart gets purified, the more Krishna is attracted and the more he wants to reveal himself. And one day, we'll be able to come face to face with him. And that will be the perfection of our life. So the acronym is SEE. Text number 127 is the first letter S, which is source of everything. Krishna has explained how he is the source of everything, the most confidential knowledge, even more confidential than what he had spoken in the previous chapter till now. Text number 8 to 11 is the essence of the Gita, the letter E, the Chatushloki Gita, essence. S-E. S is source of everything, E is essence. And then text number 12 to 42 till the end, everywhere, how he is present everywhere. He talks about those things. Whatever we hear, look around, see, feel, how Krishna is present in those things that make them glorious. For example, take our own body. Now, this body is attractive as long as the part and parcel of Krishna, the soul is present. We are all parts and parcels. As long as we are living in this body remains attractive. As soon as I leave this body, the body begins to disintegrate. The same body becomes so unattractive. Anybody who touches it will have to take bath, right? When a person dies, before that we are hugging him, kissing him, and when the soul leaves, which is spark of Krishna, the part and parcel of Krishna, the real person, body is still there, but now we look at a body, it is considered contaminating. We go close, it is contaminating. We touch it, we have to take bath. It needs to be burnt, otherwise it can cause an epidemic. So nothing beautiful, attractive, glorious can exist without Krishna. So who is a fool who would not try to serve such a personality, who would not try to at least be grateful to him? Because of him, we are able to breathe. People are charging for oxygen, and Krishna has been supplying free oxygen for since the time of creation. Bisleri is packaging water and selling it. Krishna has supplied water, never charged us. If he starts charging us for everything, we'll go crazy. So at least let's become grateful and understand how without his presence we cannot even breathe, we cannot even move a step forward, we cannot even blink our eyes if he doesn't desire. So when you understand he's so powerful, therefore it's important to hear about his power opulences. So because our hearts are attracted by these things. So when you hear about Krishna's opulences, Krishna's power, let our hearts be attracted to Krishna. And then only we'll develop the desire to serve him. Because as I mentioned in the beginning, we're attracted towards a person seeing his beauty, knowledge, fame, knowledge, strength, renunciation, wealth. So when you hear about Krishna's glory, his activities, his power, how he sustains everything, how is the essence of everything, then naturally we develop a desire to get close to him also. So that's why it's important. So I'll end here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Remember the acronym C, text number 1 to 7, source of everything, letter S. Text number 8 to 11, essence of the Gita, letter E. And next 12 to 42, everywhere, how Krishna is present everywhere, the letter E. C. This is the acronym for this chapter, the opulence of the absolute. Thank you very much. Okay, anybody has a question? One question I can take.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Just a minute, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji, today people are very satisfied. So I'll just check if anything.
Okay, good then. That's good.
Everyone is very satisfied, and I just want to mention over here that I have been getting calls and messages from people who are not exactly connected to you in a direct manner, and they have mentioned that how the chanting of the holy name, although they heard you, and how that chanting has helped them. And in difficult times. So the what you speak about chanting being, so potent and powerful is working in their lives. So
good. Krishna is happy then. It always works, whether we chant without faith, with faith, with love, without love. The holy name of Krishna acts like fire, even if we don't understand its power. So this is the best thing we can always do. The sooner we understand, the better it will be.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Oh, Prabhuji, Dhananjay Prabhu is saying he has one question.
Yes.
So maybe I should unmute him. Okay. And you,
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
okay, Johan is
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes.
Prabhu, I have a question. Like you were relating everything to Krishna. So my question is, how do pains and sufferings happen whenever Krishna is with us? We see it, but now in this time, coronavirus is there. So why Krishna is giving such pains and troubles to everyone?
Krishna is not giving pain. As I said, in the case of, in one sense, he is the source, yes, because when people become sinful, now just like the government creates nice facilities for everyone to enjoy, but somebody who breaks the laws of the government, the same government will punish him also just to rectify his behavior. So this is like a reality check. When population becomes sinful, then things like these happen. Just so that we learn our lessons.
Why everyone is suffering, Prabhu?
Because everybody is involved. We are living in this world, number one. And secondly, even if we are not sinful, which is very rare, with even if not in this lifetime, what about past lifetimes? We carry a lot of karma.
Right.
The material world is such a place. It's called Dukhalayam. Krishna. Where does Krishna say this world is Sukhalaya? In fact, we should be thankful that we experience some sort of Sukha in this world. We should be grateful because of him. Otherwise, he has already stamped this world as Dukhalayam. So you can expect more and more misery. If you expect happiness all the time, then that's the spiritual world. In this world, let's not have that unrealistic expectation. Koi perfect situation nahi aayega. Corona will go, something else will come.
Right, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So I'll stop here because I have another class now. Maybe next time. Thank you. Johan, you can message me personally.
So Johan can ask you in the next session. Thank you so much.
He can message me also. He's there on other classes also. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.